Hey everybody, and welcome to the video. Today we're going to talk about an article that Jim Montgomery has in the coach's site. It's called The Process. And in the process, they basically talk about objectives that your team should be measuring to see if they're successful. Okay, and this can be a great idea if you're losing lots, or you're winning lots, or just for any team. And we're going to look at it and see if we agree and if we think that the things Jim is looking at really make a difference. So let's go. Number one, 50 hits in a game. Well, my wife says if it's more physical, it's better.
This is pathetic.
You're pathetic.
So I think hockey's the same.
It's science.
More physical is better.
That's what she said.
It's a physical game. Bantam, midget, junior, college, pro. I think each level has their own intensity and the amount of hits that you expect a team to provide. You might need to adjust the number. 50 is a big number. If you're coaching a bantam team or a midget team, you might think 40 is a better number. But I think we can all agree that in a physical game, if you're more physical than the other team and you're finishing your checks, that's going to be advantageous for your team for success. Number two, win 60% of the face-offs. Obviously, puck possession is huge, and who cares if you win or lose, except if you're winning the puck, you're also getting possession of the puck. And if you're losing, you don't have the puck. Two basic things that you need to make and turn the tide in a game really can help if you're winning those face-offs. So if you're losing a whole bunch of face-offs, if you track it, if you're keeping track and you're only getting 30 to 40% of your face-offs, that's a big thing that's going against your team and your success. And those are things, face-offs are things you can work on. You can actually work on them in practice. There's things you can do. Maybe that's an idea for another video.
Thanks, Captain Obvious.
Number three, give up 3 or less odd man rushes. I truly believe this is a great one. If your team is not playing as a team, there can be a lot of issues with defense. Giving up odd man rushes just highlights the fact that you're not doing something right. Okay, is that for maybe you're not keeping forwards high? That can be a selfishness thing, or you need to teach it and work on it better. Your defense and that risk reward of when they should go up ice or not, that can be a big thing. Or pinches, bad pinches on the boards in the offensive zone can cause odd man rushes all the time. So keeping track of it is very important, I think, for your success. 3 is a tough number. That's he was coaching college when this article came out. He was in Denver. 3 is pretty tough. If you're coaching a midget or a minor hockey team, you might want to make that number 6 or 7 or 10 even, depending on your team. Something realistic that you think will help you get success is a good number to have. Number 4 is commit to blocking shots. That one is a yes or no. You don't have to track it. The good thing is you don't have to track that really. That's something you can look at the end and decide, did we commit to blocking shots, yes or no? I think for more elite levels, it's more important that you do block those shots. But a commitment to get in shooting lanes and to take care of defense really is a big factor. So committing to blocking shots is important, and the bigger the game, the more important it is to block those shots. Make sure they don't get through to the goalie. Number 5 is win the special team battles. Obviously, if you score more goals than the other team, that's a pretty good idea that you're going to be pretty successful in hockey. And winning the special team battle is basically that. Score more on your power play than you give up on the penalty kill. And these are things you can obviously work on in practice. So it's important to make sure that you actually have and you're not taking penalties. But if you do, you got to be able to kill those penalties at a pretty successful rate. And when you have a man advantage, you also want to be taking advantage of that as much as you can. So it's a pretty clear one, and it's another one you don't have to do a lot of work to track. You don't need a parent to do it, or a team, or somebody that's on the team that's not playing that day. It's pretty easy to track. You can look at the score sheet at the end of the game. So the penalty and the special team battle is an important one, and I think it's a great one that he's got on the list. Number 6, win the net front battle. Now, depending on the level that you're at, this is extremely important. But I also think that if you're in a minor hockey team, it also relates to just good defense. In good defense, we want to keep people to the outside. We don't want them on the inside. With really elite levels, it comes down to defense and offense and trying to win loose pucks and boxing out. There's a whole bunch of skills we can work on to win this and to do it. It's also another one that you don't have to track as much. It's more of a, you're watching the game. Do we feel like we won the net front battle, or did we feel like we lost the net front battle? So it's a good one to have. Depending on your level, though, it might be just more related to defense and keeping the team to the outside than letting them come to the inside. But that's up to you, and that's something you can adjust as you go forward. And number 7, the 7th thing that he has on the list is taking zero undisciplined penalties. So obviously taking undisciplined penalties puts your team at a disadvantage, and it relates to your special teams battle that we also talked about. I think that it also shows selfishness in your team, and it shows a weakness if you have players that do that. It's obviously something that you have to take care of as a coach. You're responsible for trying to instill a team philosophy.
Team counts on you.
And making sure that we're playing as a team, not individuals. And sometimes when we're taking undisciplined penalties, that's what happens. So I think it's a great one to have in. 0, depending on your team and the level, 0 might be a hard number and an unrealistic number to do it, but you want to have a low number, and you want to have something that you can meet or hopefully meet, and something that you can reach towards so it's realistic. So, do we like this? I like it.
I like it a lot.
I like the process. I think it's great. I've worked with some teams that have been really unsuccessful, and they're trying to get better. And, if you're losing all your games, it's really tough to say to the kids, you were getting better, if you're only looking at the score and you're looking at the standings. But if you can break these down, you can actually identify the different areas of the games that you're improving on and the things that you still need to work on. And when you start winning, those are the things that you can relate back, and the players will understand clearly why you're getting better. Okay? So it's not necessarily a bad thing. And likewise, if you're winning all your games, there might be games you don't think you played well, but you still won. And you can look back to these kind of outcomes and make sure that you're going back and reviewing, and it keeps good track. And it's more than just wins and losses, goals for and against. It's the details in the game that you want your team to be successful at, and it focuses on it. So I think it's a great thing. When Jim Montgomery did it, he talked about Maine, University of Maine, and I actually played against that team. They had a great team. That was 1993. Paul Correa was on the team. Jim was the leader. His coach was Sean Walsh, and Jim, in his article, he says that they had 13 outcomes that they had, and he thought that was a little bit too much, and I'd agree with him. I think 7's right about the right number. When I coached a midget team, just a minor hockey team, we had a great season, and this was one of the things we did that really helped us along the way. We didn't use all of the same ones that Jim did. We changed and substituted a few. We had a turnover one in our own end. I think we had 10 or less, and that was a pretty good one. I find that if you're rimming the puck around the boards, your wingers, if we're giving the puck up in our own end too many times, that's something that needs to be addressed, and that's a reason why you could be unsuccessful. So we had that as one. We did have the hits one. We did the special teams, the net front battle one. So there was lots that we did do, but we did substitute a few in there that we thought would help us. So it's up to you. There's flexibility. You also have to track this, so you got to get a little bit of support to help track some of these outcomes. But we used to review it at the end of the game, whether we won or lost. We went through it, and it was actually quite amazing. Just like Jim in his article, he says if they got 4 out of 7, they'd usually win the game. If they were getting 6 or 7, they were blowing teams out of the water. And I felt when we did with our team, it was the same. Every once in a while, you could get 3 out of 7, and you'd still win, but usually not. And the more you got, the more that you actually controlled the game and did pretty well in the game. So use it, don't use it. I think it's a great idea. And if you're having trouble in your season and you're having trouble with winning or losing, please take this into consideration. You can probably search up different outcomes that coaches track on the internet. This is just one article, but if you like it, please hit that like button and subscribe. Turn on your notifications because there's going to be more videos coming, and we'll see you next week with the next video.